Do you want to explain what we're doing? Like,
Nah, you got that. I don't know entirely. Well, we're making a cutting board.
hey, I'm Handyman Dan with You Can Build This, and I'm here with my good friend Landon. We are going to work on a surprise gift for his mom. We did a little research and we found a pattern that we liked off of Etsy. We're going to kind of mimic the pattern using a cutting board like this as our template to size it correctly. We've got a few different boards, some walnut, some figured maple, more walnut, some purple heart. Overall, this is going to be an awesome cutting board. Hopefully she'll enjoy it.
Yeah, hopefully. Holy cow.
We've got our cutting board template here. We're basically going to make it the same size because with it being wood, we're going to make it a little bit thicker so that it stays stable and keeps it from getting warped. This cutting board is 14 inches by 10 inches. It's easier to trim it off later than it is to try and make it the exact size at the beginning. We're going to overall make our glue up 15 inches by 11 inches.
Put your hand there. Yeah.
A good way to tell how tall to put your table saw, you want the kerf of your blade to just be barely above the wood. Anything higher and you're gonna give it tear out and you're gonna have to clean up the edge more. So I'm just gonna clean up this edge a little bit. This is dimensional rubber I got from the store. Just don't ever grab it.
Yeah, waste lots of time.
So as you're pushing it through, you want to make it flat there and flat this way. You want your fingers to go past the yellow.
Yeah.
This hand's putting pressure this way, keep it against the fence. I'm going to show you a little technique here. This is a rough edge and this is a rough edge and I don't have a joiner. Joiner is what cleans up the edge to make it perfectly flat. I know that this piece has two edges that are perfectly straight. I'm going to put this piece against my fence and this one next to it. I'm going to make the distance from my fence to my blade a little bit bigger than this piece so that my blade will go down this exact center point. And that's going to give me a straight edge on this piece. Now you can see that there's no groove in between these. So I know that this is a flat edge now.
This is our purple heart. We started cutting it and then I felt on the back there's a nail. You always want to be careful of that.
We're just going to lay this out first to see how big all of our pieces are. I didn't want to mistakenly cut too much of this board. I'm just going to lay it out just to see how thick everything is first. We want it like that?
Yeah, that looks great.
Oh yeah, we were going to use a sliver of this on this.
Oh yeah.
If this is that,
It doesn't need to be exact.
we're going to trim this down. I don't like the smell of maple walnut. It smells really good. Purple heart.
Purple heart was the worst.
Purple heart
For
reeks.
sure was the worst.
With cutting boards, it's really important since we're relying on the structure to stay flat. The only way to ensure that it's going to stay flat is to make sure that we orient the grain in opposite directions. I've marked with a Sharpie the grain pattern that we've got right here. And we just want to make sure that pieces that we're gluing up are going to be opposite. The grain on this board is going like that, and that one's going like that. So these two are good. This piece, though, is swooping the same way as this piece. We actually want to flip this one over so that it goes in the opposite. Now this one is backwards, so we need to flip this. This is swooping towards us, that one's swooping now away from us. These are balanced, these are balanced, these are balanced, these two are opposites. And I do want to switch this one though. Since this one is swooping towards us, so is this one. Now this one is backwards. I'm going to turn this one over. So now that they're going in opposite directions. If we were to keep it like this, over time, these pieces would cause the board to potato chip. Our board should stay flat in the long run. This is another example. If we were to glue this board up like this, the grain on this board is swooping up and the grain on this board is swooping up. If this was a bigger piece, over time, it would curl like this. On this board, if we were to glue it up, it would go like that. Now it's balanced, swooping up and swooping down. This will keep it flat. Before you put it on the clamp, it's a good idea to just draw an X. Whoops. Just draw an X. This will help you remember once you get glue on the boards, be able to orient them again correctly. But we're going to use Titebond 3 because it's waterproof. And with this being a cutting board and vegetables and water are going to be on it, this is going to be the better glue to do. So we ended up not using the figured maple because my planer just wasn't able to keep a very good clean cut on it. It always left a gap. I think we could compress it enough in our clamps, but over time I think it would come apart. Called an audible, and we're just using two thinner pieces. So I just put all the faces down that we're gonna add the glue.
Yep.
Because when you glue it up, you have to do it pretty
quickly.
quick. Not too bad now because it's kind of cold outside, but when it's hot and in summer, you've got 5 minutes before your glue is drying. This is a glue brush. It's silicone. When the glue dries, it
doesn't completely mess it up.
Spread it out. You just want to get glue on all of the surfaces.
Thanks for doing this. This is super cool. I should really appreciate this.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
It's the fanciest cutting board I've ever seen.
I did one with Jason a few years ago, but it was just one solid board because he wasn't actually going to use it. It was more like he wanted to get it engraved. I can just flip these over and
Compress them together?
Yep. I am using bar clamps on this because the bar clamps give a lot more pressure, and we want to make sure that we use a lot of pressure on this just because we're gluing up so many boards together.
Want to try to line it up and stuff?
Try and line it up best you can. You'll see when we squeeze them together that they will
shift a little bit.
But that's exactly why we made them a little bit wider. Pushing down on it. And the reason we want to add a clamp to the top is because
so it doesn't push up.
Again, with that whole constant pressure, making it equal. You do want to see glue oozing out of it because that means that all the surfaces have been covered.
Compressing.
Now that you've compressed that one, why don't you compress the other ones too?
Come on.
And we'll come back and put it through the planer and finish machining it. But it looks pretty sick so far. This silicone brush is really awesome. After the glue dries on it, it's easy to just pick it out. I've had 2 of these for about 7 years now. Now we're going to use my makeshift benchtop router. I just added a piece of plexiglass onto my plunge router. Here I've got a cove bit. It'll add a nice little corner round detail to our cutting board edges. Whenever you're using a router, it's always good to do a test piece first. I made it so that my router is embedded into my table because I have very limited space. A router table is just kind of out of my budget right now.
So much love, so much precision.
Yeah.
On our cutting board, we're going to use this premium 2-in-1 min wax, food grade wood oil and conditioner. It's very inexpensive, and one bottle lasts a long time to coat all of your wood products.
Tell me when it's up.
Let's try that.
Is it right that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where like the angels come out.
Yeah. See it finally look all nice and shiny.
What's really cool is you got the purple heart and the maple.
Yeah. It all starts to look like the pictures we originally saw of this.
Looks really good, man.
Sweet.